So, I guess we'll just talk and bull crap for a moment until he goes to bed because he's back there yelling and screaming. And I really don't want to read the book while he's yelling and screaming. Make sure he's asleep. So, Pat, I don't see anybody, but I don't know that I even know how to work the comments. I'm wishing somebody would comment on these videos. I see that people have liked and viewed them, but as a creator, I don't see anybody having left any comments. So if you could do that, so I could see it with a like and thumbs up, then I know that it's working. If not, it's okay. I'll figure it out sooner or later. So how's everybody doing out there in the world this evening? It's February now. We passed Groundhog's Day in America. I don't know what the what's his name, Punxsutawney Phil did. Whether he saw his shadow or did whatever and ran back in his. But I saw that Brooklyn Bob or whatever his name. I just saw him chilling outside and stuff. And I was thinking, yeah, if that groundhog was outside and it was cold as crap and stuff, he'd be running back in his hole and be like, you know, you people are freaking crazy. You can see your breath hit the ground and break into big, dangerous pieces that fly up in the air like projectiles. And people have to shield their faces on the sidewalk so it doesn't scar their faces. I mean, I'm just making this up as I go along. I did, however, was in back east when I was in the Army, and it did get very cold there at Fort Lee, Virginia, before I left to go to Germany. And then of course it was colder than shit over there. It was fucking cold, bro. So what's on everybody's mind? The same thing as mine. Just waiting to see what's going to happen. Wondering and waiting and praying and thinking about the future. I am trying to live more purposely about the future than I mean, it always just kind of seems like my life has been me always going like this or that, or trying to do an end run and everything, but in the end, God seems to make happen what He wants to have happen. There ain't nothing I can do about it, you can do about it, or anybody can do about it. And I think in a lot of cases, do I really want to do anything about it? Isn't it a great thing when God moves and we make Him number one? You know, we make Him number one in all things. We make Him number one, you know, here, and He just does what He does because He's got to. What a novel friggin' idea that is. But anyhow, I'm listening. Gonna give it just a few more minutes. Make sure he's gone to bed. Now, like I said, excuse me. Like I've said in the comments, if you would like to choke yourself to death, if you would like to share where you are at in the world, drop it in the comments. I would like to hear from you. No matter where you are in the world, I'll pray for you. You can pray for me. We can pray for the kingdom. We can pray for anything you want except hatred. That will not be tolerated on here. You will see that there is a narrative to this channel, but if you don't like it, that's too bad. It's Wa's channel. It's my channel. I think you some more water to wash that. It was a pure cloud. Hey, 2 days ago, well, which coming tomorrow. So me and my dog are going down the sidewalk here in Prescott, and we ran square in to a cloud of a swarm of bees, and they were like congregating in this bush. And the craziest thing, it really happened. I mean, there were people that I backed up and went, whoa, holy crap. And I said, yeah, I said, I stopped about 2 people on a bicycle, 4 old women walking, an Amazon delivery driver, I forget this what now, and made 2 $5 bills and 2 bottles of water. And I had called the police. First of all, it took like 7 minutes for Mr. Google to get me to where I could place a non-emergency phone call so I don't get in trouble for calling me. But I'm thinking the whole time, I hope a little kid on his bicycle doesn't come like flying down the sidewalk or on their skateboard. Because that's always a possibility, in Prescott, some kid just cruising, or whoever, it doesn't matter, an old person. 4 people told me they were deathly ill to it. So, like, I called the police, and I told them what happened, and, like, 15 minutes go by, 20 minutes go by, 35 minutes go by, 50 minutes go by, an hour and 10 minutes go by. Enough that I had me and my dog had drank 2 bottles of water, and it cracked open a 3rd one, right? And I go over and I see this old man coming down the sidewalk, but he's coming from the opposite way. And most everybody I'd run into had come from the direction that I was. So it was very easy for me to help, guide them. I remember there was a couple bicyclers went whoop, and they were like, "Thank you," and they were like, "Wow, yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, that's." They were like, "Thanks, man." So anyway, I go over there, kind of mosey over because the last time me and my dog were near it, and I forgot to tell you, we're over. So the main road's here, right? And the bush is over here. We're back over on the opposite corner that goes up the hill to the Catholic church and the Mason graveyard and all that shit that's at the top of the hill. And my dog, he's got this thing about biting at bugs, whether it be flies and he got stung. He got, I don't know if he got bad in the mouth, but yeah, I got him in the tongue and the mouth because he's doing that thing I've seen him do with bees before, so it got him. But it's been so many summers and it happens to him. He's not allergic to bees because he's probably even before I got him, because he was eating bugs out in the desert a long time ago. I've had him going on. I've had him over 3 years. Was back this past October. So whenever I got him, he was seasoned as a puppy through his first summer eating bugs. So he probably had run into honeybees out there. He got honeybees out on the reservation. It's probably one of the only industries they got, is, besides trying to raise a cow or a sheep or two, or trying to sell their jewelry or whatever it is out on the Navajo Hopi reservation. But I went in anyway, went over there, and the old man's walking up, and he couldn't quite hear me or anything. I say old man, he was older than I was, okay, put it that way. And I'm like, there were some bees. So as he's coming up, I grab this chunk of asphalt about this big, and I don't see anybody. I'm like 99.99999. They ain't even in the bush anymore. I ain't even scared to throw it. And I throw it and nothing comes out of it. But they weren't nesting in it. They were gone. But I never saw them leave as a cloud. But I can't say that I was absolutely watching. But the funny thing is, so by this time, it's an hour and it's easily an hour and 15 minutes after I called the police, and they still hadn't shown up. And I'm like, what do you gotta say, man? There's a dead body on the sidewalk? I mean, what the fuck is the deal? Anyway, that's my story, and I have one about I found a secret church, and we would never know the front of it, that on Sunday it's a church battling the Illuminati, Ephraim and Manasseh. Bizarre things coming in the future. Necessary things. Necessary. Alright, well, anyway, that's what's on my mind. Sounds like he went to sleep, so. we're going to continue on. Sometimes you just gotta do them when you do them, and I couldn't wait. I should have, but then I ain't got no time later on. And, then it'll be the exact wait time for me to eat and all that jazz, so that things work right in my family and such and so on. Alright, so looking at chapter 4, Jewish views on the lost 10 tribes of Israel. Among modern Jews, there are many who believe that the 10 tribes are not part of the Jewish people, while there are also many Jews who believe they are. One notable Jew who holds to the former view is the Orthodox Rabbi Shmuley Boteach, born in 1966, whom Newsweek magazine called the most famous rabbi in America. In his best-selling book, Judaism for Everyone, in 2002, he wrote, "An Israelite is someone who is a descendant of Jacob. After the dispersion of the 10 tribes, the Israelites were referred to as Jews because the remainder of the Jewish nation, those who today form the bulk of the Jewish people, all stem from the tribe of Judah." First day back, I'm having a hard time not focusing. I think it's more breathing. And you're probably saying, "Well, Jim, maybe it's because you're smoking all the time." Well, could be a valid point, but it's not true. That isn't the reason for why I can't breathe the way I normally can. It just is what it is. And that's all it is today. So don't try to make too much out of it. I don't. I've learned the minute I start trying to make something out of something, it was never what I thought. Never is. It ain't about me. It ain't about me. It ain't about me. Alright. The Jews of the 3rd century BC to the 2nd century AD believed the 10 tribes were far away. We're in chapter 4, by the way, page 19, heading towards the bottom of the page. Many modern Jews believe that the 10 tribes are not part of the Jewish people. Furthermore, among the Jews in the 1st and 2nd centuries AD, it was taken for granted that the 10 northern tribes of Israel were not part of the Jewish people, and they were far away and separated for such a long time that they had become lost. Jews who lived 500 to 800 years after the Assyrian invasion, that would be 100 years after, approximately 100 years after Jesus. After the Assyrian invasion and deportation of the 10 tribes, are obviously more reliable sources for what happened to the 10 tribes than Jews who live 2,700 years later. Do you get the significance of that part right there? That's pretty big right there. That's why I like Michael's book. I spent a long time reading it, thinking on it, and that's one of them parts right there that I would suggest you study further, just as a thought in your mind as to what he's saying here. Of course you can. If you were, say, a carpenter anywhere from 100 years before Jesus, or 100 years after that 200-year period, right, before and after Jesus, would you listen to a carpenter nowadays, 2,000 years later, about how stuff was done? Or would you listen to a carpenter back then? That's what I thought. Got you again. Okay. It goes on and on like this. As you will learn, they were never truly lost. We were lost to ourselves. Do you understand what I'm saying? The only loss that became was we were lost to ourselves. Then we became found in Jesus Christ, but we never remembered who we were. With that, we're going to take a short break.